What the?
Honey, bro.
What's good, folks? This is the first. You can't be first the second time, so this is the first Voodoo in the Woods episode of 2021. Thank you guys for joining us here on Facebook and YouTube. But to break this thing in like a nice pair of Timberland boots in the Bronx, we have one of the premier fighters out of the Southern California region. He, along with actually, I'm his co-host, but the host of the show, Voodoo Maximus, is a former U of MMA champion. He is the one and only Tommy Aaron. Tommy, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? Man, much love to you guys. Love you guys.
See, I love you too, bro. Like literally sending you like virtual hugs over here and some Mario Yamasaki's.
Yeah,
How about that? Let's do some Mario Yamasaki.
The best ref ever, right?
I mean, that's definitely debatable, but hashtag, hashtag Yamasaki.
If he dies, he dies.
You must have seen that MMA on point too.
Yeah, the Rocky, the Drago.
Yeah, no, but the MMA on point with Tommy Tohold and Jason, they basically did like the 10 worst refs in MMA, and that they actually like put that line in. It was like, if he dies, he dies. And then,
I didn't even see it. Actually.
Oh, that's great. That's so great. But yeah, dude, and Bias, Voodoo Maximus, dude.
Yeah.
2021, how are you?
2021, we're back, man. We're back, and we're back with, one of my favorite people on this planet. One of my favorite human beings on this planet. Tommy Aaron's in the house, and I'm privileged to have Tommy with me, man. Ever since I met this dude, man, from the very first day I met this dude, I knew right away, like, okay, this dude is clearly way younger than me, but yet he's got an old soul. An old soul that you can respect as a man, you know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy that Tommy's here to chop it up with us, man. And his story is a story that must be told to all young folks out there, The sky is always the limit, man. Just listen to Tommy's story. He's about to tell you his story. Listen to his story and take notes and learn something from this man. You know what I'm saying? Man. Shout out to Tommy Aaron all day long.
It warmed my heart over here, man. It's funny, like when I met you, we met back in it was years ago. What, 5 years? 6 years?
Maybe more than that.
More, huh?
Maybe more.
7 years?
Yeah.
Wow. It's crazy how time flies, bro. U of MMA, downtown LA at the Nokia Theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
I met Pius there, and then I'm like, man, right when I met, I'm like, dude, this dude's jacked, bro. What like, and then you went out and fought, and I was watching. I might have been in the back because I think we fought the same night, right?
Yeah, we did.
And I was watching on thing. I'm like, God, this dude's strong as hell. He just picked the dude up, chuck him over. I'm like, oh my God, this guy. And I think it was a finish. I think maybe it's like second round.
Yeah. The first one went the distance, but I got all the rounds.
Oh, it was the distance?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, you were fun to watch, bro. That's for sure. He always scrap, bro.
Talk about fun to watch. Tommy Aaron is fun to watch because when Tommy Aaron gets in the cage, somebody's going home on a stretcher. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is. Seriously, you're either going to sleep or you're going to the hospital. Straight up.
Killer be killed, brother. That's how it is.
That's right.
Hey, man.
That's
Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. But we're out there and we're putting work in. We're competing, and we're putting it on the line, man. That's what it's about. And it's love at the end of the day, bro. This is what we do. Sometimes we get hurt, but we find, when you get hurt, you find a way to recover, and that's what this last couple of years has really taught me about, the recovery part, the recovery side of the game, which I never really paid attention to. I would always think like, if I was hurting, and be like, "Oh, you're just being a pussy." And then like I couldn't lift my arm up, be like, "Ah, you just figure it out. Just kick or something. Do something." There's always a way, man. If there's a will, there's a way. That's true in this game.
Yeah,
That's right.
just kick.
Billy Blanks broke that to us way back. Where there's a will, there's a way, and he's so right about that. And I'm happy you mentioned that because it's a valid statement. If you've got the will and the desire to persevere, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then earlier we were talking, and it's pretty much when you put it out there in the universe, man, it comes back. It comes back the way you want it. So we just got to be mindful of the language that we're using. Positive language. When we putting out positive language out there, usually positive comes back. So, it is what it is.
Well, in my case, I did the Billy Blanks, and I left my quarantine in a stretcher. So I mean, there's that. There was this thing, and I went, timber. I was like Kesha, timber. We going down. We yelling timber. That's what it went down to. But
you guys
I mean,
been grubbing too this quarantine shit.
It's a crazy time. But I mean, nothing crazier than holy crap! Like a lot of you, especially being a fixture on the scene of the Southern California scene, most people like, oh, Tommy's a California kid, right? Like he's Spaniard. So is Juan Archuleta of Spanish descent, but grew up here. But that isn't your story at all, and you actually have that claim of Spaniard because you grew up in Mallorca, Spain.
I'm café con leche, bro. So
hey, there you go.
I'm I'm a white boy, but I grew up in Spain, man. Like that's just I went to all Spanish speaking schools. Imagine being like 7 years old and your parents just being like, "Hey, next week we're out of here," and like, what do you mean? And then just going straight into all Spanish speaking schools, not knowing how to speak shit. Just like it was a trip. I hated it, man. I'm telling you. The first 3 months were like 6 months were like the hardest months, man. Like it was just I got bullied like fucking crazy. Everybody wanted a piece of me, and yeah, man, I had to figure that shit out.
Wow. Wait, so I mean, you grew up here and then you went there, or
I was born in Tampa, Florida.
Really?
Yeah. So I went through all the hurricanes out there. Like there was like from 1 to about 7 years old. I was like every year there was like fucking 2 hurricanes. Like no electricity, no hot water, no like. So we were going through all these crazy hurricanes, and I was going to school, elementary school. I was playing baseball, kind of living like an American kid, and then just everything just changed like this. Went to Spain, new school, all Spanish, everything Spanish, and until I was like 15, 16. Then that's when I became emancipated when I came here. So I came here by myself. Had my mom sign out for me because she knew I wasn't really, it wasn't going well. I was just, there wasn't much going on there, and I wanted to fight, and I knew this was the Mecca, LA, Vegas, Mecca. So I came here and figured shit out. I got a job. Yo.
I'm happy you mentioned coming to LA and all that. So my question for you, Tommy, is when did fighting first come into your mind, and who inspired that in you? Was it the surrounding being aggressive towards you, and you figure you have to learn to defend yourself from other bullies, or was it Bruce Lee, or what sparked the martial science in you, Tom?
That's a great question, bro. That's a really good question. To be honest, I was always kind of I was a rough kid. Like I was always dirty. I was always outside. I was always roughhousing. I remember I was in kindergarten, and I was playing in one of my friends, one of my dearest friends. His name's Brandon. I think he like took my car or something, and he was like pushing. He's a big kid, like he towered over me back then, and he was being mean to me and kind of bullying me a little bit, and I don't know. I was like 5 years old, and I remember I punched him in the throat, and he started like choking, and I freaked out, man. I freaked out. So I started crying. He started crying, and it was just. And then ever since then, I was like, no, I'm never gonna punch somebody because I know like I just have like this natural right hand, it just comes out natural. And then later on, I'll get picked on and stuff. But I was kind of always like I was quiet. I kind of just held to myself. And then when I met my coach Salva, who's one, I speak to him almost every day. He's one of my dearest friends, always will be. He's this little guy, man. He's like 5'6", but he's a tank, bro, like a tank. And I saw how he would move and how he would kick and punch, and and then I'd see him one day. I was walking by and I saw one of his classes, and he was piecing up guys, twice his size, like 140 pounds versus 205 pounds, and just kind of moving them around like they weighed nothing. And I was like, man, like that's incredible. And then I started training with him. And right from there, as soon as he taught me some of the fundamentals, and I started to feel it myself, and like how strong I started to feel doing the training, doing the jump rope, doing the road work. I was like, man. And as soon as that happened, bro, that was a wrap. I was in this life
now,
to the end.
Before you continue, Aaron, I have one question.
Yeah, bro.
What was that? What was your coach's foundation? Was he karate? Was he taekwondo?
Kyokushin karate.
Or was he okay, Kyokushin.
Mm-hmm. Kyokushin karate and Thai boxing.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah, Thai boxing, Kyokushin karate, mix his kind of way. He had just a couple similarities. Like I know you're an incredible martial artist. A little longer stance, not the Thai narrow stance, a little longer stance. Really light on his feet, and just fast, man. Like just explosive, not big, winding up. Just like in stance, and then just like fast. And man, I'd see how he would move, bro, and I was like, I gotta learn this. And I just love all the martial arts. So
Nice.
Now, I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Because that one interaction with that, I mean, the person who stole your toy car and what have you. I have a similar experience. Like when I was in third grade, I had like a WWF logo set for my birthday, and one of the kids tried to get cute with me and try to take my Legos, while the teacher basically disseminated like class Legos for everyone else because sensing the jealousy. Well, he reached across, and try to grab my Legos. These are special edition. These are something that I got for my birthday. So I saw his hand come across my desk. I took his hand, I put it to my mouth, bit a chunk out, and I spit it right back in his face. So that was my deal, and I was just like, oh, I maybe I could do that again. Maybe. I mean, even though I got suspended and had to go to another school on the other side of town, but I was like, whatever. So for me as a kid, right, you are a lot more mild-mannered than I, because if I could punch somebody in the throat and make them go, I'm like, who else can I do that to?
Bro, I was like crying, man. I was like, oh my God, I killed him. Like, because he wasn't breathing, man. Like, I freaked me out, and he's bawling his eyes out. And I have a good heart. I always have, always will. When I see somebody suffering, it's hard for me. I don't like seeing people suffer. So.
Wow. So, I mean, but then before you met Sava, was there, like, did you see, like what would end up becoming mixed martial arts? Because obviously the term of MMA didn't come until like '07, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, did you see like Bruce Lee movies? Did you
Yeah.
watch Ninja Turtles and be like, oh, that could
I
be a
was
thing?
huge on Ninja Turtles, huge on Bruce Lee. I started Taekwondo when I was 5. That was my first thing ever in my life was Taekwondo. I actually I support a really good scar. I got a scar on my chin. I did a spinning back kick when I was like 6. I was on marble floor, and I did a jumping spinning back kick, and when I landed, I slipped, and I went pop, and just like, bro, I was bleeding everywhere, man. I had to go to the hospital, get stitches, the whole thing.
Jeez. But I mean, at that,
Traumatic.
I mean, yes, it's traumatic. But then you weren't at that point like, oh, I got a cool scar, because scars at that age was like, the tattoos of now, right? When you're older, you get tattoos like, oh, that's cool. But the scars are your tattoo when you're in like elementary, middle school, like showing off to girls. I'm like, yeah, that one spinning back kick. And the cool thing is, most of us have to lie about it. All the scars that I have, like I told people because of my eczema that I have like vitiligo and whatever. It's a story, but I just have a skin condition, right? But like you actually had a cool story, like spinning back kick, marble floor, gashed. Like that's a pretty damn good story. You didn't even have to lie about it.
No, bro. I remember my grandma holding me, and we had a bucket, and it was pouring blood into the bucket, just like squirting out. I was all delirious. Yeah, it was funny, bro.
Not the proudest moment, but I mean, cool story, bro.
No, thanks, man. Yep. Bucking up. Hey, man, sometimes you fall on your face.
Yeah, no, that's
Seriously.
I mean, figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of like, and then, how extensive was your training with Sava? Like obviously there was that Taekwondo, kind of background, but then like, were there things because of the Taekwondo that came a little bit easier to you?
Yes.
Training with Sava?
Yeah, definitely. The kicking came a lot easier to me. Like my left kick, definitely one of my most sharpest swords, and my spinning back kick. Those are things like I have with me. Things to keep people back, keep people from getting too close. Weapons that I got, and it's never gonna be perfect. But I can at least I can say that those 2 weapons, I can say that they're pretty good. They're not great yet, but they will be. They will be soon. Hopefully, we'll see.
No, that's the plan. And, I had on Megan Parduccio, who organizes a ton of events here in SoCal, Jiu-Jitsu and otherwise, and what have you. Some people are born with gifts. We pretty much disseminated the fact that Voodoo is essentially born with such gifts. I mean, the time that you saw him run roughshod through U of MMA,
yeah,
like he was the age that I am now, right? And I couldn't even think of half of the stuff or whatever. I call him the undisputed king of Nokia theater because he would shut shit down. Like, go ahead and try and follow that.
And his post-fight interviews were fucking epic too.
That's the king. Yes, he's the king. That's his royal decree.
He'd have like two of his kids on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Belt on, all fucking looking jacked as shit.
Oh, poor the post-fight interviewer, because he would just yak the fucking mic right from him. Like, give me it's mine.
This is my time. You fight? No.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm talking.
Those are facts. Again, if you guys don't know, you can literally see all of Tommy Aaron and Voodoo Maximus fights on the U of MMA YouTube page, and that is absolutely free of cost to you. We're not lying. This isn't hyperbole. We wouldn't lie to you. No, he would shut shit down. I hope he was the main event and everything, but because good luck following that. Tommy Aaron, Dominic Reyes, Jacob Rosales. Again, all of you of MMA, veterans, But good luck trying to follow Voodoo's fucking promos in the middle of the U of MMA cage.
Man, I hope they come, man, because they're not around anymore. But I would love for them to come back. I got a couple amateur guys that I'm training with, man, that got that thing. That I know Sparstar is amazing. We love Tony Padilla. Tony Padilla has always treated me amazing. She's tried getting, poor guy. He's tried getting me like 3 fights and they've all fallen through. Coronavirus and then this injuries and you know how it goes. But yeah, I wish that U of M came back, man, for another run. It was the best, bro. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Come on.
And that's the thing. And it's not so much like anybody does it better or worse or what have you. You've got Tony and the guys at Sparstar that do a phenomenal job. You've got the Tracy Hess and the McKees doing knockout promotion in Long Beach, phenomenal. You got Epic down in San Diego. There's IE Fights. There's so many great promotions that are both obviously amateur and pro in terms of Lights Out, the former CXF and all of that. But we could always use more because there's so many fighters here. Yeah. I mean, my goodness, amateur and pro.
100%.
One thing that I can definitely tell you was my experience was priceless. Yeah. Every time I went to the U, it felt so great from the weigh-ins to hanging out. And then getting in the back, and then getting that talk from Big John or whoever, the rules and all that. That whole experience was just so awesome to me, man. And then I get in the back. We're in this private rooms, and Tommy's in there or whoever's in there. We're all in there in our own rooms. The blue team is upstairs. The red team is downstairs. The whole thing was just super tight, man. It was just so awesome. I had such an amazing time there.
Yeah, bro. I'll cherish those memories forever, man. 100%.
Yeah. So then, I guess moving on. I mean, were you still training with Sava? During your U of MMA tenure. When did you end up at Black House, and which one were you at? Redondo or the secret location somewhere in the greater Los Angeles area?
I was in. Well, I speak to Salva every day. He kind of trains me via Facebook. He'll be like, "Hey, how you feeling? All right, how many weeks out are you? Okay, 4 weeks out. What you been doing? What you been up to? How you feeling? Where's your head at? How's life? You stressed? He's just like one of those guys. He's always there for me. He can't be there physically, because he's all the way overseas, but and just have I always carry him. He's close to my heart, that guy. And when I make it to the UFC, I'm definitely I'm gonna steal him for a week for sure.
Yeah,
because that's my guy.
Now check this out. So now you're training with him. You're gathering more skills, and the love for the art continues to rise. Now, when do you decide, okay, I think it's time to go to America? When did you make that decision? And how did that whole process go? How come your mom trusted you? I mean, actually, I know why your mom trusted you, but I want you to tell us a story for her to emancipate you and then send you over to America to get your dreams fulfilled.
Well, if I'm going to tell you guys a funny story. So going to school, I would actually go to school every day. I wanted to be a fighter so bad, and I wanted to do it so bad. I knew I would look up okay, what are the best guys doing? What are they doing? A lot of them did a lot of running and stuff like that. So and I didn't really have time. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna run to school. And school is about it's about 10 kilometers. So 10 kilometers. What's 10 kilometers? Like 6 miles, something like that. So I'd get all my books in my bag. I'd wake up my little brothers. I'd walk them down to the bus stop, put them on the bus to go to school. I have my bag, and then I'd start my trot, and I'd run to school. Raining, didn't matter, man. I was just one of those kids, like, I don't know, I was kind of a loner, but I was just motivated, man. I was motivated. At the time, because my family, we were doing really well. Like, we were well off, and we went from doing really well to struggling hard, like this. Like, it happened overnight. Like, as soon as my stepdad got arrested and he went to jail, and he was the breadwinner for the family. So, shit got real quick. And it was my mom. You think about a single mom, foreign country, no job, 5 kids, 2 babies, and I'm the oldest boy. I'm the oldest guy. And I see that. So I'm like, you know what? And I didn't do well in school, man. I'm not a school guy. So I'd be like, all right, fuck, even if I was late, I would show up, I'd be all sweaty and shit. I'd get to the classroom. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, teacher, I'm late. I ran here. I'm going to run here every single day. I ran every day. I ran to school every day for about 4 or 5 years. Rain, didn't matter. I'd 30 pounds of books, didn't matter. I'd run my ass to school, and I'd do my schooling. But yeah, man, it was really hard time. Like, Spain was a really hard time for me. Like, that's why, no, I'm not Spanish. But again, all the bus drivers, all the taxi, people, I was like the Forrest Gump of where I live. People were like, who the fuck is this kid all the time, every morning, every afternoon, running? It'd be raining, it'd be windy, and I'd just be there with my backpack just trotting home, and I don't know, man. I just this when and this life is for me, bro. I'm built for this. I may get broken, but I tell you what, I'm gonna heal. I heal quick.
Damn near Wolverine. And there's so many. I mean, Forrest Gump of Spain. That's one deal. We went like your healing powers of Wolverine. But I mean, there, theoretically speaking, I mean, has anybody told you actually bear a strong resemblance to not just Sylvester Stallone, but Rocky Balboa himself? Like, you kind of look Rocky-esque.
Oh, do I? It's funny because my coat, my Salva, bro. I show you a picture of Salva, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit, that's Spanish Sylvester Stallone."
What?
I'm not even lying. It's pretty funny.
Oh man. So I mean, okay, you're at what point of your journey and your tutelage, your teaching from Salva, did you get to that pinnacle of a U of MMA? Like, at what point of your journey did that happen?
Well, I remember it happened pretty quick because I was going to school. I had to stop going to school actually because I couldn't go to school as much because I had to help my mom with my littlest brother Henry at the time because she was working and my sister was working. She was like 17, I think, at the time, 16. She was working like 2 jobs. My mom had 2 jobs. So it was really, we had like a schedule. Like, I had to be here at this time. My sister had to be here at this time. We all had to pitch in. Like, I had to help rent. Like, at 13 years old, like I was fucking walking dogs. I was cleaning boats down in the harbor. I was doing anything I could. I was selling snacks at school. True story, man. I was doing whatever I could. So, but the tipping point was after my stepdad went to jail, and I was getting in some trouble with a group of friends I had, and I never, like, every time I went out, like, I would be out for a long time. Like, I wasn't at home a lot. And I always had, like, I never had any money on me. I was always hungry. And it was always like my friends. Like, I love my friends. I still super dear to me. They would always like look out for me and give me food or buy me a drink or, we would go to this little Chinese place and it was like €2 to get like a bunch of rice. And I'd have like tinfoil rice and I would like carry it in my pocket and like they'll put some soy sauce on that, eat that shit real quick, and then go about. And I had fun. Like I'd party and I was drinking and smoking. 15, 14 years old, I'm fucking smoking cigarettes and drinking and going. It was a trip. And at that time, like I was like, all right, I got to do something new. I got to change it up because if I keep going this way, I felt like it was just gonna like it wasn't gonna go well. So from there, I was like, hey mom, I need you to let me go to LA because we knew some people that had a spot. And I was like, let me go and just be with them for, even if it's just for a bit, just can you trust me to go? And it was really hard for her. It was super hard for her. Like, I got to give all respect to my mom because none of this would have happened if she didn't sign those papers, but she signed them. And then I came here and as soon as I came here, it kind of hit me like, fuck, like, I was scared, man. I was I'm not gonna lie to you. I was fucking terrified. And I found, I got on a tram. I went to the Hacienda Hotel over by LAX.
Yep.
I told the guy, I was like, man, I'm coming from Spain. I'm not in school right now. Can you give me a room? And I told him like my situation, my goals. I'm like, I'm trying to do this. And, and he respected me so much. He bought the room. The room was like $69.99 a night. He brought it down to $19.95. He brought over a fridge, a bunch of pillows. Man, he was a tight guy, bro. But yeah, and then from there, man, I was just trying to look for a job, like right away. I think I had my mom gave me a little bit of money. My mom gave me like $300, and then I had a little bit of leftover money from doing some jobs, some odd jobs, like for around the. I lived in like an old neighborhood, like a lot of old people, so I was like helping them, and they would like give me some money here and there. So I had like $600, and I had to make that last until I could find a job. So eventually, thank God, the coach I have now, which is funny, Coach Willie, he's the one that got me the job.
Really?
So I was a janitor. Yeah, I was a janitor in Redondo Beach at a school called Elite Training Center, and I was the cleaner there. And because I cleaned, they were like, "Hey, you're cleaning. We're gonna give you free membership." And I was like, "Fuck yeah! I get to train and do what I love, and I get to have a job and get paid so I can eat."
Yeah.
It was tight.
Oh, shout out to Elite and Willie and that guy at the Hacienda.
Bro, the dude, I forget his name. He was a Spanish guy. I was talking to him in Spanish. He was a Mexican guy, and he was like, Jesus, kid, you are ballsy as fuck. And I was like, well, I guess you could say that, but right now I got to be honest with you, I'm a little scared. And he was like, man, I respect your honesty. And I was so happy, man, because I don't know if I could have afforded at the time $70 a night, and I don't know how long I'm going to be there. So he really, man, he came through.
Oh my God! I couldn't even. And how old were you?
I was 15.
That's like a year away from my youngest son. I couldn't even imagine, like, holy hell. And again, the strength of your mom to let you do that, and then again, like, where does this resolve come from? Because again, like, you had it in your mind, at the time that you're in, like, you could have, like, been into playing Pokemon cards and collecting them and what have you, right? Nobody's like, oh, I'm going to walk dogs. I'm going to help out my mom. I'm the oldest and whatever. I want to do MMA. I'm going to move from like what I know, even though it's like, it is hard, right? After your dad went to jail, your stepdad went to jail and all that. But like, even still, it's nothing. It's still safe comparison to what you ended up doing to literally go to a completely different country on the opposite end of the world. Mm-hmm. And then like the end goal is ultimately to get punched in the face. Like, whoa,
yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a trip, man. But if you guys ever meet my mom, she's definitely the most badass lady I know. She's yeah, it was just like to see the whirlwind that hit us, because she was caught off guard too, man. She was caught off guard, bro. Like it literally happened. Like you can look it up, man. It's on the, like, my stepdad was the front page of the news. We were raided by the Spanish police. We lost all our assets were seized. He stole a lot of money from some powerful people, and they came at us hard, bro. And he went down. He did I think he did 5 years, 6 years, and yeah, and we were just left, like, you know, find like eviction notice. You have 24 hours, figure it out. And my mom fucking figured that shit out, bro.
Wow.
Like, luckily, I gotta say, you know, my stepdad at the time, he was a very materialistic person. He had watches. He had a watch for each day of the week, but these watches were big boy watches, meaning extremely valuable watches. And those 7 watches literally helped my family survive for about 7 years.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And my mom, and technically my mom, she was like, fuck you. She took those watches because she, you know, all our other assets, everything's freeze. We were left with nothing. And as soon as she saw the, you know, those watches, she was like, I gotta take them. And she did. And those, man. So, and she found a way to sell them to the right people, get the right price. And yeah, she, and that's pretty well. That on top of course, we all had to work. You know, my sister was working 2 jobs, going to school full time, doing her A levels in Spain, and then, you know, I was going to school on and off. I went to school like 3-4 days a week, and then my mom was working other jobs. She was, you know, bartending, doing all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it was a crazy time, bro. Let me tell you, fuck, it was crazy.
Oh, I can only imagine. Oh man, I mean, have you thought about like putting some of this stuff down, like writing it out? I mean, this is probably a better screenplay than half of the shit in Hollywood right now. Like for real, for real.
This is real life, man. And I tell no lies, brother. I tell no lies. I'm honest truth, and what my mom went through and how she found a way, and it inspired me. It really did. It made me just like, I saw how, and she's a tough lady too. She would straight up, you know, don't tailgate my mom for too long, bro, because she will pull over and she will throw down. Like, I've seen her fight. No lie. Like, put them up, and like they'd run away from her. No lie, bro. They would straight up run away from my blonde mom, bro. Like, she's a trip, bro. She's a trip, man. I can't. She's a character. Let me tell you.
Well, you brought up your natural right hand. I kind of figured out where it came from. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's crazy.
Wow. So now, Tommy. So now you're working at Elite. You know what I mean? And then now you're getting to train for free at Elite. Now you're a part of the family. So around when do you start meeting the Romans and those guys?
Roman, Travis, Josiah, those are my boys right there, bro. I met them. Christos, actually, too. Christos Iagos.
Christos, that's right.
I met all of them. I went in on a Tuesday, and it was a fight team practice, and I saw them sparring, and I was like, in takedowns, everything. And I'm just a striker at the time. Like, I can box, I can kickbox. But I'm seeing them like shoot double to 6-3-2 double, fucking head kick, single. I'm like, oh my God, like, these guys are for real, man. And then I saw them roll afterwards, and they're doing jujitsu, and they're transitioning. They're like fucking guard passing to side control to mount to S mount to fucking spider web armbar to triangle. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I want to do what these guys are doing. And that was around 2012. Fuck, I don't even know, bro. But it was a while back, and shout out to those guys: Roman Todorovic, Christos Yagos, Travis Williams, Josiah Doby. Some tough dudes, bro. Some good-hearted guys, and they got me ready for some tough fights. I'll tell you that.
Damn. And I mean that's kind of again if you're the LA kind of combat sports team, and especially as we are here in 2021, and what you all have individually accomplished, not just in the sport, whether it be jiu-jitsu. Roman is an ace in terms of jiu-jitsu. Christos was in the UFC, got out, fought his way back in. It's crazy what you guys individually, and even the ones that don't train anymore, they've gone on to be, business people or members of the community, fathers, husbands, and everything like that. It's incredible, like that you dropped in right then. Like that's crazy.
We all have a heart of perseverance. All of us. You guys included, we all have this, we all have good hearts, and we persevere, man. We persevere because sometimes, things are going great and everything's happy and la-di-da. And next thing you know, you get blindsided and you're on the floor and you're looking up and you're like, what the fuck happened? And you just, you take a second, you take a breath, and you go, okay, what do I got to do now? What's next? Well, how do I react? And what's my next move? How do I get out of this? And for anybody who's listening, or anybody who knows Pius or knows you or knows myself, or any of my friends or family knows, like we're persevering people. And that's just how it's going to have to be. And depending on how the world, we don't know, man. We're in weird fucking times. So
yep.
If you've had difficulty with persevering, then I would suggest to definitely dig deep, look within, and find a way to persevere.
Hey man, I'm happy you said that, man, because you reminded me of what my grandfather always told us. My grandfather, he died a while back, but I always remember this saying. This is one thing that I took away from him. He says, if you got these right here, you'll never go hungry. As long as you got these right here, these hands, as long as you got hands, you'll never go hungry. You know what I'm saying? He told me that maybe when I was like 7, 8, 9. At that age, and I always wondered, but then as life passed by and those hardships came, I understood what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit still and feel sorry for yourself. Nobody wants to hear that nonsense. Nobody wants to hear you feeling sorry for yourself. What you're gonna do next, like you said, Tommy. What's next? What's the next move? What's the next move? Once we get to that move, what's the next one after that? You know what I'm saying? Incremental goals, and then we get to the master plan. That's right, man. You're right about that.
Amen, my brother. Amen. Rest in peace to Grandpops.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, I mean, we found out where the genesis of Tommy's mean right hand is, and the brilliance, and we also uncovered the brilliance of one Voodoo Maximus, one Pius Danilo Lobo. Well, the genius of Pius look no further than his grandfather. That's some verbal gems that he laid out to you. But again, what you've accomplished, Pius, it's yes, your grandfather is exactly right, and he gave you the tools in which you needed to succeed, and in a literal form. Because again, anybody could go and check out the Smash Global fight with Pius. I mean, his hands did some work for sure.
Don't walk straight in. Let me just tell you that. Don't do it. He wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready. That's it. Now, I mean, so did you have a goal in mind in terms of like what your amateur career, whether it be through U of MMA or other promotions? Like, did you have a goal? Did you like want to win a title and then go pro? Like, because obviously, you know, much like any amateur sports here in North America, you are an amateur. You could be a wrestler, figure skater, whatever. You make absolutely no money, right? Until you kind of flip the switch and go pro. That's when the funds start coming in. You know, so did you have a goal in mind of what you wanted your amateur to be?
To be honest, not really. I was just, asked me if I wanted to fight, and you would have gotten an answer in a millisecond. It was yes, and it didn't matter who. It was yes, and it was right to the gym, bro. Right to the gym, getting to work, head down, worker hat on. But after I went 8-0 amateur. I had a couple good knockouts, a couple good fights, and then I think after it was my title defense. I think I finished with the spin back kick or something like that. And then I can't even remember. Fuck. And then after that fight, I was like, okay, I looked at my wallet and I was like, okay, maybe let's go pro,
Yeah.
Yeah, because when there's lint in your, you just fought your ass off, 6 to 8 weeks or even sometimes shorter on a short notice call. When you're putting all that work and you look in and there's mothballs in your wallet, you're like, something wrong here. Let me change this.
Yeah, because I knew I was good enough. I knew I was good enough that it was the right time to go pro. I could have kept being an amateur and doing more amateur fights, but honestly, I didn't like at the timing. I didn't have time. Like I was like, I need to start making money. I have a mom that's struggling in Spain. She eventually followed me out here to the U.S. But I needed to. Luckily, I was blessed. Like I didn't have to pay rent at the time or anything like that. I was living with some roommates that were taking care of me, but I wanted to give. I wanted to give back, man. I'm a giving guy. Like I want to be able to, like, bro. If anyone had a lot of money, you would want me to have a lot of money because, bro, I would help so many people. Like. In the right way, I wouldn't just give and let's learn how to cast that line out. Let's learn how to reel that shit in. You know what I mean? So I wanted to give. So I was like, let's go pro so I can make some money so I can, give back to the people who are looking out for me at the time.
No, and I do echo your sentiments, man. I want you to hit pay dirt because you're like that, and it's funny because my 13-year-old had just showed me a YouTube video of this guy, Mr. Beast, on YouTube, and I literally had like tears in my eyes because this dude would set up a bank, right? Set up a bank, and like somebody would come up for a loan or whatever, and he would just like, oh, you want $200, here's a G, no interest, whatever, like that type of stuff. Or go into a store and just buy everything in the store and then give it to charity, right? And I was just like, yeah, I want that dude to be wealthy. I want that guy to be rich because everybody's going to get taken care of, right? And I feel the same with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I respect people like that.
That's it, and it's wealth or being well-to-do. It's often ostracized, in culture, and maybe it's because of what they've done with it that it might be nefarious, right? But the thing about it is, what it presents is chances and opportunities where you wouldn't have. It opens doors where it would have otherwise been closed. It essentially gives you the freedom to pursue your passions. I mean, I look no further than Joe Rogan, right? Something, yes, of course, he was already doing comedy. He was already on news radio. He was already on Fear Factor. He was already doing UFC commentary, and he was already a combat sports athlete, right? But again, his podcast was just exactly what we're doing here, fucking around with his friends and putting it out into the ether and whatever. And within 10 years, that thing that he was fucking around with his friends on becomes $100+ million property, and exclusively to one of the biggest streaming services that there are, right? So
Crazy.
that speaks to the perseverance.
100%. 100%.
And the thing is, if he didn't make the effort to actually put it together and get it going, it would have never been successful. He tried. He took that leap of faith. Joe took that leap of faith, and he put it out there in the universe. The universe received him well. Now look at him. He's at Spotify doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah, not mad at anybody that, again, puts in the work. You know, a lot of people will say 10,000 hours or whatever you want to equate it to. You know, you can dream. Dreams are free. But what's going to, you know, what you get taxed on is the implementation of said dreams, like the putting the work to it. You know, saying that you wanted to come over, you know, from Spain here and becoming a fighter. But again, all of the work that had to happen. You were already running with your backpack with 20 pounds of books and what have you. You were taking care of your family, your mom's financials, your, you know, basically, again, before those like crazy runs to school and the 10 kilometers, it equates to 6.2 miles each way that you would jog, right? But again, you did that after you dropped off your brother at where he needed to go. All of these things basically, you know, it essentially brought you to where you, and not just you, but your family, to where you are now. And of course, anybody would want more. You know, when you're doing well, you want more, right? When a relationship is good, oh, kids, like because you want to extend that to the people around you, right? But again, it's the work that you basically do right now that it'll basically propel you to where you're going to be, whether you know it, whether you intended to do it or not.
100%, brother. It was a team effort. It really was. It was a team effort. Like, I wouldn't say, like, you know, honestly, I got to give my sister props. Like, my sister financially did more than me, for sure. But she also made more than me. You know, at the time, she was older. She was working bartending, and she was getting tips and things like that. And then my mom too. So between the three of us, man, we figured out how to survive, and we had good friends. You know, like there's an Italian family. One of my best friends, Lapo, his family owned a restaurant, and fuck, man, they fed us for free more than once. I'll tell you that, much more than once. So, bro, like, but you know, with good people, like if you have good people around you, like right now, I feel the word is like unfuckwithable.
Yeah.
You know, I have such strong people around me, man. Like I just feel like you can't hurt me, man. Like I don't know. That's just how I feel. And maybe it's kind of cocky. I don't know. Maybe a little bit.
No. It's got nothing to do with that, Tommy. It's got nothing to do with that. See, you radiate this certain thing that draws people like that to you. Why you think I'm all talking about you? Every chance I get, I talk about Tommy Aaron because Tommy Aaron is the gold standard in my book. Hey, look back, man, at this thing that we do. I talk about you all the time, bro. All the time. Because I don't meet many people like you. It's not just people like you, young people like you. You know what I mean? I called you an old soul prior. Now I know why you have that old soul. You've been forced to grow up at such an early age that, you know what I mean, you matured real early. This is why when I met you, you know, I was like, there's something about this dude, man. He's more mature than his age. Like, the dude is like 18, 19, but I feel like we're the same age. You know what I'm saying? You have that thing, and it is that thing that attracts people to you. and it is that thing that attracts good people to you. You know what I mean? Some people have that thing that attracts bad people. You got that thing that attracts only good people, and that's a testament to the kind of individual that you are. And this isn't about this is all props to Tommy Aaron and Tommy Aaron's family for molding you to this individual that you have become.
Oh man. Well, I mean, look, that you must be right because look who I'm talking to right now. You guys are good people.
Well, I appreciate it, man, dude. The first time I actually, because I had heard so much about you, I believe the first fight that I saw you fight was one of the Roy Engelbright Rumble on the Water shows. Remember that in Long Beach?
Oh yeah.
Yes, right. And when I saw that night, I was an instantaneous fan. I was there with fan-sided, say, Amy Kaplan, a friend to all of us.
What's up, Amy? We love
yes,
you.
absolutely. Love Amy. You know, but essentially, the first time that I interviewed you, it was like on my phone at a Combate event, like somewhere down, I think it might have been downtown LA or it might have been USC. So something or whatever, but I was so nervous. Because like I knew the guy, and for me, whether it be pro wrestling, combat sports, whatever, like I don't fuck with Marvel because I know you two and others like you, where you guys fuck a Superman punch in CGI because you guys can do Superman punches. These, back kicks off the cage. You guys can do it. So again, from what I saw in Rumble on the Water, and basically going back over your career on YouTube and whatever, I was scared as shit. And you couldn't have been kinder to me. I mean, I bumblefuck words, and that's kind of what According to Woods does. Like the first time I meet you, I will like all over the place because again, what do you do when you meet Superman?
That's
right?
Funny.
Right?
That's funny, bro. It's funny when people talk. Like for me, man, like I've been, man, I feel so humble. Like I've been humbled so many times, bro. I can't even. Like I love talking to guys like you, man. You guys are just real as it gets, And I just appreciate that, man. I really do.
Thank you.
Yes, and for a time in a life that you aside from your family and the people who help your family at a time where you guys weren't doing so great, right? Like the fact that we want to have your back. Like we will fight for you. Like don't get it twisted. Like we will fight for you. You can fight on your own. That's great, and you would knock the shit out of everybody. But then also, if you don't, we're gonna go around fucking knocking heads. Like that's the thing. If you're down, we're gonna fucking pick you up because you would do the same for us. And it's there's reciprocation, which when people on the outside looking into our community and like, oh, you guys are just dragging knuckles, Cro-Magnon, and oh my god, barbarians and shit like that. Some of the best people, the smartest people that I've met in my years of walking this earth have come via MMA. Mm-hmm. Even friends that I didn't vibe with in high school, they find out that I'm doing this, and we fucking talk more than we did when we saw each other 5 days a week for 5 years about this sport, and that's what it is. And again, we find out what we're all made of, right? Because again, this sport can drain every last bit of your energy, your attention, your sanity, your physical well-being, all of it, right? And then we come back the next day, wanting more.
It's crazy, right? Isn't it?
Right.
It's a trip. It's like, what am I doing? I don't know, but I fucking like it. I'm gonna keep it.
And somebody's gonna hold you accountable if you don't show up either.
Yeah.
Like you didn't come and get your ass kicked today. What the fuck?
Yeah, man. Man, I've got my ass kicked so many times. Whew. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite fight? Oh, go ahead, Pius.
No, go ahead. I like your question. Go ahead.
So, in your career, obviously undefeated as an amateur pro, you fought an LFA, you fought at Celtic Gladiator, you fought a lot of places, right? And then also you've also cornered in a lot of places, right? So do you have a favorite fight or fight experience? And it could be one of yours, it could be something that you might have cornered for, or just leading up to the fight that you just felt like so optimal in terms of everything, all of your life experience, all of the training, your physical acumen, your mindset, like all of these things converged and it led to this. Like, do you have any of those?
Where I was on, man,
Yeah.
I have a couple nights where, boy, I was fucking on. I would say U of MMA, where I caught the head kick.
Oh yeah.
That was some Matrix shit.
Yep, I was
Yeah, I
on
remember
that
that.
night. I was on. I was weirdly confident too. Like I was, like, cause my training camp was good, but then I was going through a lot of stuff outside of the gym. Like ladies and family and stuff like that, and well, a lot of like drama and stuff. But for some reason, man, that night, like I was back there, I was talking with Voodoo. I was vibing with my guys. I was eating in the back. It didn't feel like I was gonna fight. It it didn't feel like I was fighting. Like I was almost surprised. Like, oh, you're up in 5 minutes. I was like, oh shit, let's get warmed up, guys. Fuck, let's go. And it was a quick warm up, and then when I went out there, I remember my boy Travis Williams. He goes, "Hey Tommy, man, you stay loose, you do you, and just just throw stuff out there, see what happens. Don't think about it too much. Just let it loose." And I was just like, just let it loose. And I thought for a second, and I was like, guys, watch this. I was like, watch this. And then I went in. I went in. I got lubed up. I was bouncing, and I literally made the decision right there. I remember I trained orthodox all camp. I was left foot forward, and as I was bouncing, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go southpaw. And I switched up. I went southpaw, and then I went out there, and it just clicked, and I did exactly that. I just let things loose. And I feel like, man, especially now, when I just go out there and I don't think about nothing, and I just do me, and I just have fun. I'm a dangerous person, no doubt. Because it just things fire, like when you feeling like you're in just like you're just on, what I mean, Pius, because you've had those days where you're just like you see a fly and you could just almost like slow motion just go.
Yes. What you're describing, my friend, what you are describing right there is flow state. What they call flow state. That's what you just described right there. For those of you who have heard the term flow state, he just told you what he feels during flow state. That's it right there. Everything moves slower. You're sharp as a razor, and just reacting. Everything it's like a book that was written, and you're just reading it, and it's happening like never ending story. Like you're reading a book and it's happening right before your very eyes.
Isn't it true? Because you've been there. You've been there.
Yes.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about. And God, it's like it's almost surreal. Like it happens so fast but so slow. And like after the fight, I would just go to the back room and I would just be like, man, like I felt like I was, running with my book bag in Spain like yesterday, but it's 2 years later and I just want to fight via knockout in a couple of seconds. And now I'm like, everyone's happy and giving me nugs and stuff. And I'm just like, did that just happen? Like, what the fuck? Like, it was just a trip, man. I can't even explain this. That's one for sure. The other one was at Burbank Marriott. I fought for LFA, and I was in the back. I was warming up with Coach Josiah Dobie. And we weren't hitting pads. We were doing like, we were kind of just fucking around, but I was just trying to get warm. And I remember I was just like, Josiah, try to hit me. And no gloves or nothing. He was just trying to put those knuckles on my chin, and I was just, doing my thing. And then I was like, okay, I feel good. I'm warm. And as soon as I went out there, again, just like serene, like it was. I felt like I was on a lake. I felt like I was on a lake, and I was by myself, and I was just in a canoe in the middle of the lake, and I was just taking big deep breaths and seeing like feeling like the breeze and the sun, and I felt like serene. I felt it's hard to describe, man. It's hard to find the words for it, but next thing you know, after that, I'm feeling that way, and I'm getting my hand raised, and I'm walking back, and okay, did I win? I won. Fuck, how did I win? What'd I do? You threw a right hand, you connected. I'm like, oh shit, that's dope. I was like, this is sweet. Let's go sign that check.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah,
straight up.
Now, I mean, I hate to kind of flip it a bit, but I mean, you mentioned the Burbank Marriott and Convention Center. That also ended up being one of the last fights that we saw you in. And then, I mean, this was, for those who don't know, it was Celtic Gladiator, and Tommy competed in the event, and a lot of people, kind of pegged you to win. A lot of people, you were like the favorite going into this fight, and then something like you ended up suffering a catastrophic injury, and not just that, but like you essentially were like, oh, I'm gonna go back in, and you were standing on your injured foot. Like, talk us through that. What was that,
man? So see, and then there's the other side of the coin, right, Pius? There's the fucking in the lake. Yeah. Just man, it smells like minty breeze, fucking lemonade. And then there's the other side, and the other side is a fucking trip, man. The other side, and I've had a couple of nights where I was, I would tell you I was feeling okay, but I was a fucking mess, a disaster, mentally, and it was all mental. And that was one of those nights, just the whole night was just, it was almost like, it was weird, man. It was weird. Like, I'm backstage and I'm warming up and there's no reps. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, what do you mean you don't have like reps? So I can't wrap my hands? Like, oh, okay. So I had to figure that out. No tape? Okay, we'll figure that out. So like everything was going wrong throughout the whole day. Couldn't find parking. Like, it was just like, it's weird, like getting cut off on the road, just is strange. And then I'm back there, I'm warming up, and usually it's 1, 2 people, 2, 3 people. There's like fucking 20 people back there. And I'm like, okay, like, hey guys, you just main team right now. And then I'm warming up, and I'm feeling a little tense, and I'm thinking like my mind, I'm just like I'm thinking about my finances. I'm thinking about this and that and all these different things. I'm like, and then at the time I didn't go, Tommy, yo, take a big deep breath. You're about to go fight. Get your head together. Now I know how to do that. At the time, I was stressed. And then, I went out, and I was forcing everything. Everything felt really forced. It didn't feel serene. It didn't feel flow state. Everything felt forced, hard, aggressive, mad, angry. And that's not how I do. I don't do well. I got to be honest. When I'm like that, every time I've been like that, I had a rough night, man. I had a rough couple nights every time I was like that. And yeah, it was a trip. I knew when I broke it. I broke it about 18 seconds in the first round. I broke it.
Wow.
And it went to round 2, didn't it?
Yeah, it almost went to round 2. When I stood up. I was ready, bro. I could have fought on without the leg. Like I would have figured a way. Because that's how we are.
Boy, right there.
That's how we are.
My boy, right there.
It's this isn't like when you're in there, and I know Pius can attest to that. When you're in there, it's not just you. It's not just you in there. You got people behind you. You have, in Pius's case, he's got like 25 kids. This guy got few. I'm playing, bro. I'm playing. But
21 and a half.
Yeah, 21 and a half. But you know what I mean? It's not just you. And that night was it was just a weird night for me. And it wasn't my night. And all props to, man, like I give much respect to my opponent that night. Like he did what he had to do, and he did great. But I just you can just say that it was more than an off night, because I feel like on an off night I still will keep myself safe and I'll hold my own, and I won't let myself get hurt on an off night. But it was I'm gonna say it was spiritually, mentally off night. Kind of night, I didn't put on the full armor of God. I didn't pray how I usually do. I wasn't breathing. I was kind of holding my breath. I was forcing everything, trying to do everything hard, and it's not how I do things. No, not anymore, that's for sure. But I can tell you what, is my favorite fights are the fights that I lost. Because the experience I got to build in having to pick yourself up, because man, I got I've had some fucking hard losses. The losses I have had were rough. Especially like giving, like, when you give everything, like you train, right, Pius? You train, like you get your notice, like your 4 weeks notice, and you put your heart, your soul, your finances, your everything, bro. And you just push it to your limit, and then you go out there and you and it doesn't pan out, and it's heartbreaking, man. It really is. Like I was heartbroken, bro. My losses, but especially that last one, because I had to, mind you, I had to get immediate surgery, and then I had to get right back to work, brother. Like I was doing catering. I was a cook at the time, and I was cooking in a restaurant, and I was on one leg. So I had my peg leg, and I'm back there cooking. And this is like the week after the fight, bro.
No.
Yeah, the week after so I have open wound, like, and it's burning, throbbing, hurting like a motherfucker. I'm back there, I'm putting my work in. I'm doing I was doing 4 to 4, so I was doing 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. were my hours. Wow. And then I got staph on my cut on the wow. And then my girl goes, hey, it doesn't look right, because I put a Band-Aid on it and I tore the Band-Aid off, and I guess my skin had like a reaction to the Band-Aid. Yeah. And then it got infected with MRSA, and it was burning. It was burning like every night, bro. I couldn't sleep. And my lady goes, hey, let's go to the ER right now. And I'm tired, bro. I just worked all day. And I tell my lady, I'm like, hey, baby, like, let me just sleep tonight. We'll go tomorrow. It'll be good. And she goes, nope, we're going right now. I'm not going to sleep until you go to the ER. And I was like, fine. So I went to the ER, and then after I get to the ER and they see it, and they stick me and they put me on, the stuff. And they go, you know what? If you had come tomorrow morning, we might have had to cut your leg off. And I was like, baby, I love you.
Yeah, put a ring on that.
Yeah, that's a keeper right there.
Yeah, bro, she's with me still. That's my girl, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I almost had to get that leg, bro. I was like They said 24 hours. If I hadn't gone in 24 hours, it would have been to the point where sepsis. It's called sepsis.
Yeah, sepsis. Yeah.
And they're like, it could be fatal. Like you could die from this. And I was like, holy shit! I was about to go to work the next day. Like,
Damn.
straight up just cooking at work, just fall over.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
And she's a lovely gal. I've met her. She's just absolutely lovely, and you guys together are just a reflection of perfection.
Yeah.
So, and then don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, and that's a damn good story. So I'm gonna, let's go with that. Now, I mean, the road back, right? Because I mean, it's crazy because you were already training at Black House. You were already getting like top flight training, right? But then your road back, it's not just a recovery of a loss or what have you, but you got to recover everything, just to get back to like close to number. You're working your way back to maybe 70, 80%, 60 even. Like you're working hard to get to 60% of just like everything, right? So, but it's crazy too, because like for those who follow the UFC and watch the embeddeds and everything like that, like on this road back, your march towards MMA glory and supremacy, you've basically hooked up with some of the most elite fighters of all time in Anderson Silva, of obviously Tony Ferguson, training Kali. Like this is crazy. And I don't know how much you were doing before this, but like to me, this is exactly a phoenix out of the ashes. This is the story of Lazarus, because you are literally like breaking out of the brink, out of all the rubble, dusting yourself off. And in my money, you are probably on the best run that you have. Your dalliances of Rock LA and having one of like the top surgery centers in LA to kind of back you, along with the entire Black House team. Like you're on a run and a trajectory that I don't know would have happened if not for the injury.
I'm so grateful for this injury. I thank God for this, for putting me through that, because it proved to me what I knew I had it in me, but I didn't know it was me. You know what I mean? Hard to explain, but since I've been working since with my Coach Willie Laureano, John Marsh over at Triton Gym. Been working with Anderson Silva and Jason Park at Spider Kick, Black House MMA in Gardena. But mainly this last few months, I've been working with Tony Ferguson up at Snap Jitsu Academy in Costa Mesa, and I'm so grateful to be around these people, because these men, like they really got my back, man, and they're proving it every day. And I feel like in terms of my skill set, like I had a decent skill set when I was fighting before. When I was fighting for U of M A, my skill set was decent. When I was fighting for the last fight, even my skill set was decent. My skill set now is different. It's very different, and it's going to keep me safe, and I thank God for that every day, because it's an art, man. This, like what we do, it's a science, bro. Like we're doing geometry at a high level, my man. And Pius knows. Pius gives me tips, bro. Pius like, hey, when you do keep like rub them knees together, bro. And I'm like, and then I go and I try it, and I'm like, holy shit, like that little detail, like my that Anderson will give me a little detail. Tony, bro, like Ferguson has, man, that guy is I don't care what anyone says about Tony. That dude has a heart of gold. He is one of the, like, just hard, like old school, just meat, like hard, bro. Like just everything, just hard, man. Like farmer tough, just like Jesus. And he's an incredible coach. Like I consider him my grappling coach right now. He will never let, like, if he hears this, he's like, I'm not a coach, I'm a trainer. That's like always something. I'm not a coach, I'm a trainer. So he's a great grappling trainer. But man, he's an incredible dude, and he looks after me. And I show up like I'm a man of my word, and when I say something, I mean it. And he's like that, and you're like that, Pies, and you're like, so that's why guys like us, when it's just I respect everybody, but I have a different respect for people who are a man of their word. They're reliable, they're trustworthy, these things, character things. And I know in the past I'm not perfect by any means. I've made freaking mistakes and things like that, but I do my best, man. I do my best. I follow. I'm a Christian, and I believe that there's something after this life, and that we got to be careful and not be pieces of shit, because we're gonna pay for it. I believe that wholeheartedly. And man, I feel so, like, I can't wait to compete again, man, because I'm just different, bro. I'm not the Spaniard anymore, man. I'm not, bro. I'm Tommy Aaron, bro. I'm Tommy, man. I'm Tommy boy. Like, you can call me whatever, bro. I don't care. Call me Lindsay. I don't care, man.
What is that? What is it? The Paul Simon song? You can call me Al. You can be my bodyguard. I can be your long lost pal. I just aged myself like 80 years old right now. But yeah, well, everybody's like Ty Dolla $ign or whatever. I go with Paul Simon. That's what you're getting from me.
Yeah.
God. No, but I mean, do you have a timetable in terms of your return, or when you would like to cut? And how is? I mean, are you fully healed?
Oh yeah. I've never been stronger. I've never been healthier, mentally, physically, spiritually, more than anything. But all last year, I tried to fight all last year. I had I was gonna fight for Combate Americas, and the coronavirus canceled that. I was gonna fight for this new organization called XFC.
Yeah.
And I was while that was happening, I was helping Tony get ready for, I think it was Chandler at the time, or it was Oliveira, or one of the two. But it ended up being Oliveira. But I was helping him, and I hurt my rib. I broke some rib cartilage, and then I had to heal that up. So I couldn't make that fight. But yeah, I was trying to fight all 2020, man. I was trying to get in there, but this year for sure I'll get in there. I don't know if it's going to be for LFA. I just saw Ed the other day. I did some rounds over at Black House. I did some rounds with the boys over there. I wanted to say hello and give them some love and some leather. And I so we'll see what happens, man. I have Tony wants me to fight so bad too. Like all my boys, Pius. I love this stuff, man, and I feel like now is the time for me to fight to fight a little differently. I'm going to be fighting differently for sure, but it's you guys are going to appreciate it, and I know Pius is, because he's an artist, and he's
hey. I've been watching you, Tommy. I've been watching you, and the one thing that I've noticed from my amateur days to now that's changed, that's taking you to that next level, is the movement. Your movement has completely changed. Your striking has changed a little bit as well, but it's the movement that caught my eye. I'm like, look at this dude, man. Look at this dude. He's not fucking around with nobody, man. He's not
knows,
fucking around.
bro.
He wants it right now, man. The movement. See, it's not easy for people to add that to their game. Movement is not something easy to add to your game. But those that are able to add it to their game, they go to the next level, and then they compete with that next echelon of folks. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes, sir.
let's go, man. I can't wait to see you get in there with those boys.
Oh man, it's gonna be amazing. And you're absolutely right. And that's the number. I have to say thank you to my coach Willie, because that's really him, man. He definitely changed my striking. Salva too. I went back to my roots a little bit, started listening to Coach Salva, Coach Willie, and putting in that, ball, like more balls here. I'm on the balls of my feet.
Yeah.
And I'm moving, man. I'm moving. I'm hitting angles, and I'm not anticipating. I'm just, when you find Pius already like this because he knows.
Yeah.
But man, there's just this feeling, man, and I'm on my game right now. I'm on my game, and I just can't wait, bro. I can't wait to start competing and being active again, like I was. Like I had 10 pro fights in less than 3 years.
Yep.
And how I was fighting was I was fighting. I was fighting, and that I'm competing now, and I'm winning.
Mm-hmm. A tactician.
Yes.
The tactics in place that would secure a victory.
Thank you, yes, sir.
Hey, that right there is the boy becoming the man.
Yes, sir.
The boy fights, the man competes. That's what you just described right there, mister. Straight up. You've become a man in this sport. And the sky now is the limit.
I know 100%,
Yeah.
which obviously, Tommy, and you've talked about it extensively, whether it be tonight and other interviews that you've done in the past. There have been so many people that have helped you develop, right, from this journey from boy to man, that have helped you along the way. So definitely, my man, let's get some shout outs out of the way.
Oh my God. I got to give a lot of people a shout out. I got to give my boys, Roman Todorovich, Travis Williams, Josiah Doby, Coach Willie Laureano, Anderson Silva, Tony Ferguson, John Marsh, Bo Hirschberger, Juan Gomez, Rage, Kenny Johnson. Man, like I don't even. I have so many. Salva, my coach Salva. That's a huge one. If it wasn't for him, I don't know if I would be fighting and be competing and be living this life, able to train and do those things every day. And I just feel lucky, man, because I know what it's like to work. And really work long hours, hard jobs, janitor. I was a janitor for 4 years, man. It's humbling, bro. It's really humbling, man. Cleaning toilets, fucking, and just, and now being able to train and get paid to train and to corner and, just in learning about, not just learning about taxes and financial stuff, but having a better relationship, finally having a relationship with my father. I haven't seen my father in 18 years, but we're texting. We text. So, and then having a way better, because me and my mom, we had some rocky road there for a little bit, and we have an amazing relationship. Even me and my coach Willie, we fell out for 4 years, and now we're back together and we're working, and we work diligently, man, and we work smart. and we were focusing on the other parts of the game, also the recovery part of the game. You know, how to not be injured, how to not be feeling like, because man, I was feeling all the fights that I've had up until this point, every single fight I've had, I was not 100%. I wasn't even 80%, bro. Like I was every fight I was sore from like just pushing it too much. And my last fight also, that Celtic, here's a funny story, that Celtic Gladiator fight where I broke my ankle, I couldn't lift both my arms up.
Wow.
I tore my shoulder 2 days prior to the fight doing the ski machine. You know that ski machine?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even lift my arm up. And I'm like, okay, I have to find a way to be able to, you know, still fight. And like my fights for Bellator, you know, the two of the biggest fights I had were, I was not in good condition, bro. Like I was good condition, but I cut 17 pounds overnight each time. And then on top of that, like I had shingles on my neck when I fought the second time for Bellator. I was on heavy duty antibiotics. I was cold as fuck. I was throwing up. It was bad, man. Like 30 minutes before the fight, I was in the bathroom that night. Like, you know, I weighed in at 155. I stepped in the cage at 146.
What?
But hey, no excuses. I lost that night, and but you know, I wasn't in good health, you know. So now I finally, like, I know how to do it better. I have guidance on the weight cutting, which is a huge, man. I wish I knew the shit then that I know now, like learning from Ferg, like T Ferg. You shout out to T Ferg, you know, really helping me on the whole learning how to weight cut properly and just little tricks, you know, little tricks here and there. And I know Piaz knows some too, because there's no way he was a 150. He weighed in at 155. He stepped in the cage at 205. Like, that dude.
Facts.
That dude was. There's no way, bro. Like, it was funny.
There sure is a science to it, man. You can't just go making weight. Otherwise, you'll pay for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a systematic process. You got to commit to it 100%. If it's a 6-week camp, then, you know, you got to limit. Some things have to be limited, and some things have to be raised. And the successful balance of all these things is what makes it work out. And that's what you're learning from Tony. You know, like Tony, he's a pretty big dude, but he makes the weight every single time. On point.
I don't know how,
you know what I'm
bro.
saying?
You want to hear a funny story? This last fight, day before weigh-in, it's 10 o'clock at night. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's like 30 degrees outside. Vegas, cold as a motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
And we're in the hotel room, and I see everybody bundling up, and I'm over there, and Tony looks at me. He's like, "Hey, you're not gonna put on a hoodie?" And I'm like, "Nah, man, I don't need a hoodie." And he's like, and then he like looked at me in the corner of his eye, and he just went and put his hat on. And I was like, "Oh fuck, I should probably put a hoodie on." So I went over to my room, I put my hoodie on, I put my bean cap on, and we start running, man. And we're running at a 7-minute mile pace, I'd say. And we run and we're running and running. I feel like 30 minutes has gone by, but we're not even close to where we're going. I'm like, okay, we're still running. We finally get to like the point where we turn back, and we're running, and then we pick it up a little bit, and then all of a sudden Tony goes, I'm overheating, guys. And we're like, is he okay? And he starts fucking yakking, bro. He's over there like crazy. And we're all like, look at me and Cisco and we're looking at each other. We're like, oh man. and he like we're like pulling all his because he has a hoodie and like sweatsuit.
Right.
We're like pulling it off of him so that he can like. And this dude is like yakking, but he still isn't stopped. He's like walking. You know what I mean? And this guy, man, he's just like the mental strength, the fortitude, the heart, he's a man. And anyway, he gets his composure back together, and then we start running. And mind you, that whole process, he's still walking, he's yakking, we're still moving, and we're back running like seconds after this, right? So we're back running, and all seems good. He's kind of slowing down a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, you know, I'm just gonna move in front of him just a little bit, see if he, right. As soon as I kind of move in front of him a little bit, he just like went into another gear. He went into like, and then and everyone and the boys are looking at me, and they're just like, you had to fucking go in front of him, huh? Like I'm just trying to be there, like to, you know, just as like your boy who's looking out for you. It's like, you know, like let's go, we got this, you know, like don't let me get ahead. And he started pushing forward, bro, and we were running, and we ran like 7 miles, I think 7.5 miles, and then the last 2 miles, I think we were going like 6 minute 40-second pace. So, and we were cooking. We were like, and we get to the hotel, and you know, Tony's quiet, and he goes in, and he checks his weight, and he comes out, and he sits down, and we didn't think he made the weight. I thought he still had like probably 5-6 pounds to go, because he's big, man. He's like, he walks around like 185, 190, you know,
at the very least. Yeah.
So and then he looks up, because he's like sitting down like this. He like looks up at us. He's like, guys, I made the weight. And we were like, you're on weight? He's like, 155. And we all like fucking just crazy, bro. Like we were so proud of him. And that was like, I'm gonna take that as a highlight of the week, because just the battle it was to just make that weight. And how he did it too. He did it like just such a fucking tough guy, bro. Like just mentally, like, man, people like that run. Like I used to run like for real run, and just that run alone, to be doing that the day before weigh-in at that pace, at that ferocity, with like nothing in you, bro. Like I was like sipping and spitting it out, you know, for days, and you know, eating like an avocado for the day, and some like just man, I don't even know what to say, but man, shout out to T-Ferg, because that was a win in itself. Like, who cares about the Oliveira fight? You know, we know what we did. He knows what we're all on, and we're still green too. Like we had, like, to be honest, you know, I hope I'm not, the T doesn't think I'm giving too much info out, but we didn't really like do a whole. We sparred a couple times. A couple.
Hey, but the thing is, when you get to this level, sparring is really not. Should really not be at the top of your order, because I mean, he's been doing this for how many years? He don't spar so many people, so many hours of sparring. I mean, the only thing he should be focusing on is his weight, and he did that. You know,
exactly. And man, he's like, the guy is doing so, like, it's great for me to see, because the amount of things that the guy is doing during the day is like the normal CEO of a company would be overwhelmed, and he's just, you know, smiling and you know, good vibes, such good vibes, and just, man, he's a stud. And I don't care what I know people say what they say, but they can come get that work. if they got anything to say, because
Straight up. Hey, you mentioned CEO. I'm happy you mentioned that because Woods and I, we talk about this all the time. Yeah, you need the fighting skills, most definitely. You
yeah.
also do need the mic skills, very important. And
Mhm.
third of all, you need to be the CEO of your own brand. You know what I mean? No one is gonna build your brand for you. You gotta do that. And he does a very fantastic job of that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's got the trifecta. He's got the
Yep.
trifecta. This is why he is who he is. This is why, everyone knows him as who he is. So this is why he's been so successful, because he's been a single driving force of his brand, and he pushes his brand real hard. And everyone should do the same thing. Don't live it up to your manager to speak for you. Like, nah. Even if you want to get some information from your manager, talk to your manager before the fight. So when you do get that W and you got that mic in front of you, you got to display your message or plant the next seed for the next few matches that are coming. You know what I'm saying? So he does a very good job of this. He does a very good job on social media to
Yeah.
promote himself. And, he's doing everything right. He's doing
Yeah.
everything right. Every now and then we will stumble. We will stumble and we will do. But for the most part, he's had a successful career.
Hell yeah, man. And he's again like he's one of those guys like in Spain, like I was watching Anderson Silva fight. And then the Ultimate Fighter came on, and then like I was watching Ferg fight. So he's like one of those guys like I've looked up to. Like I consider him like big bro. Like I consider Christos Yago's big bro, Travis Williams big bro, Roman Todorovic big bro, Pius Voodoo the man like big bro. You guys are amazing, man, and you guys look after good people, because I know you feel a good heart, and a good heart when you're around it. And I feel like uh, in terms of good heart, man, Tony's heart is unquestionable. Can't question that heart. So
No, absolutely. And just a kind of a little quick tidbit, but the only time that I was around Tony was at a 10 Planet holiday party. And that was actually the night that Conor McGregor had jumped the cage at Bellator in Ireland, right? And I just happened to be, and you guys can appreciate this because she was a commentator at your time of MMA, but Donna Gonzalez of 10 Planet.
yeah,
We were all like, it was like Donna and Becky Dominguez from the Math Therapy
yeah,
podcast, Becky's significant other, Andreas, and whatever, and Tony, and my wife, right? And literally, like, the ping goes off on everybody's phone of like, oh, breaking news, Conor McGregor, Bellator, right? And I just happened to be right next to him. And I was like, hey, so Tony, what do you think about this? He's like, I don't care what. And he didn't even skip a beat. He's like, I don't care what McNuggets does, whatever. He can come get this work. And I was like, okay, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
he wants that work, man. Trust me. Trust me. Everybody, like he's a fighter's fighter, man. And I just I love being around people who I see like we're so similar. Like we have so many similarities, and people that I see myself in a little bit. I just love being around those guys. It's I love it.
Hey, look, Tommy. One thing, another thing that we discuss a lot is people in their background, people who come from struggle. You can see it in the cage. You can see it in the cage when they get in there. People from third world countries. The last person we talked about was that is that Figueiredo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude comes from the Amazon, man. He's straight from the Amazon rainforest. All around him is dirt roads and all this madness. And he's bringing all that pain with him. He's bringing all that pain with him to the ring. And then now he's in the ring against a dude from the first world. You know what I'm saying? You got third world versus first world. I mean, just the mental advantage that he's bringing to the cage with him. that pain that he's been through. He's seen lots of pain, and when he gets in that cage, the guy punching him is the least of his worries. That's the
100%.
least of his worries. You know what I'm saying? And you got a little bit of that, Tommy. You got a little bit of that. You know what I mean? Tony Ferguson, farmer's son. He's got a little bit of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he sure does,
that
bro.
Pain, that pain
sure
is an
does.
ally when you get it.
Yeah.
That pain is an ally.
It's so funny. It's so funny you said that. I was just who was I talking to? Like the other day, I forgot already. But man, that's so true, bro. You can see it. Like you can see when someone gets hit. Like there's just something different comes out, you know, like and I know you guys have seen that in me. Yeah. When I get hurt and when I get hit and when I get bloody, it's like I'm like,
let's go.
Because man, I've had a lot of hurt, bro, like from a young age. And like I feel like, man, I was an adult. Like I can't even remember. I feel like when I was 12 years old, I'm not much different. Like I was dealing with adult problems, you know. I wasn't, you know, Pokemon and oh, let's go over to my friend's house. No, it was like ah, shit, fuck, we gotta go here. It's 11 o'clock. Fuck it. Okay, can I get a jacket? You know, like it's just different. And I know you understand that, Pius, and you're so right. We can't even help it. It comes out. It comes out in time when things get a little tough. You see it. You know, it is interesting. We don't think about it, but it's just in the back there, you know. And
Another prime example is that one kid. I can't remember his name. The kid that quit on the stool. Remember, I told you he would be.
The Vegas guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he'll never ever get another shot in the UFC. That dude will never ever get another shot in the UFC. He's got to go out and really prove himself. And the way he went out, that's that first world problem right there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, my internet is gone. Like, are you serious? You're crying about some internet? Some people don't have lights for months. That's what I grew up under. The lights, this light right here that I'm looking at, it goes off for months. No light. No light. This is what I come from. Candles every night. Sometimes the light will come off and it'll go right back out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. It shapes a man. It shapes a man and builds character. You know what I mean? So when you got a dude like Figueiredo coming from the swamps, and he's faced some first world dude, he's gonna run right through him. He's gonna run right through him. Just as hard alone will run right through him. Even if he's not as skilled as a first world dude, he's just gonna run right through him because he's been to worse places. He's been to worse places in his lifetime, and that's gonna help him persevere.
Facts. Like, have you ever gone to, like, in that kid? I use a 55er, right?
The 55. Yeah, the guy that quit on the stool, right?
Yeah.
55.
45, 55, something like that.
55. Yeah, and you know, like, I don't want to like be disrespectful or anything, but you know that dude, you don't. It might not be the sport. You know, this might not be the sport. You know, because I tell you right now, you won't last 30 seconds with me. Nope. Not 30 seconds. And I put my car on that. 60 seconds. For real. And you're right, Pius, because man, like it's just different. Like when the hurricane, for example, like when the hurricanes happened, when I was in Florida, we were in kind of, you know, swampish kind of, like there was a swamp right next to our little house, and in the neighborhood I was in was a bunch of, you know, I would say rednecks, bro. Like they were rough kids, man. They were fucking rough kids. And like, man, we bathed. It was a pot of hot water, and under a fire. We had a generator going, and like sometimes you go to bed fucking dirty, like you're fucking dirty, and shit. It was scary, like especially when the storm was happening. We're in a small house where a lot of us in there. No lights, as you said, Pius. Lights are off, bro. Their lights aren't there for weeks, bro. And then you bathing in a pot with your siblings. Reusing the water. Fucking, it's funny. There was like giant crabs, all around, like the biggest crabs ever, because the hurricane was bringing in like wildlife. Like there was I found a crab in my backyard that was half the size of me at the time.
What?
Bro, like, and they were aggressive. They were fucking chasing you. Like, so that kind of that in the Amazon, like Figueroa was a bull herder.
Yeah.
Like him and his grandpa, those fucking dudes were in the swamp fucking moving bulls, bro. Like, come on,
That's
man.
a real shit.
And he's a 125er. He's a flyweight. He's not a big dude.
No, but you know what's funny? The hardest I've ever been hit was by a 35er. Hit me harder than any 205er. I've done rounds with Alexander Volkov. I've done rounds like with big guys.
Blake Troop.
Yeah, man. The hardest I've been hit was by a 35-pounder. No lie.
Who can you name names? Who's it?
I think you know who it is. But his name is Mario.
Yes, I do. I know exactly.
Mario, he's got this 35 dude. He has a brick hole in his fucking right arm. Bro.
Oh, shit.
The dude you'll see it, but if it lands, bro, you're gonna feel it. Let me tell you, bro. Jeez, that dude. And shout out to him. I love that guy. He's awesome dude, family man, and again from Brazil, from tough world out there for those guys. Much different than here in the States. Like we don't even know. Like even like me and dealing with living in the boondocks in Florida, and then going to Spain. It's different, man. It's like it's like growing up in the Philippines. Compared to growing up in like Sweden or something like that. Just a different life, bro. Like I've been to Thailand a few times, and I stayed out there for a few weeks, and different, brother. Different life. Just hard. Fighting is fucking nothing for these dudes. It's a walk in the park compared to what life is.
That's right. Yeah. That right there, what you just said, reminds me of Hamza Chimaev. Dude grew up in a war zone. Even your boy Roman also grew up in a war zone. That's that's another that's why he's such a beast when it comes to jiu-jitsu. He's seen terrible things. He's seen terrible things. So when we're doing jiu-jitsu, what you gonna do to me in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
What you gonna do to me? I just escaped bullets.
Yeah.
I just escaped rifles, snipers.
He's like he's like Roman because he's and then he fled to Sweden, right? It's like Roman Todorovic.
Same thing. Exactly.
He's a refugee. They fled Serbia, him and his family, and went to Germany, I believe. So and it's true, like those guys who are refugees and who had to flee their country to survive, like literally to live.
Yeah,
it's like if you gotta fight those guys, just remember, like be ready for, like, if you break, like if you don't have heart, like a lion's heart, you might have a rough fucking night, man. I don't care how talented. I don't care if you're you have 12-pack abs and you look amazing and beautiful and ripped and everyone loves, like, man, you You ready?
Have it ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know.
These dudes have come close to death on many occasions. A fight in the octagon is a walk in the park. Are you serious?
Yeah, facts.
Damn right. Now, Voodoo mentioned like CEO type shit. Actually, you brought it up, right? So, for those who want to get put in contact with the CEO of Tommy Aaron Enterprises on social media, where can they find you, good sir, on social media?
Just Tommy Aaron MMA. Tommy Aaron MMA. I don't really do Twitter that much, but I'm on Facebook, Tommy Aaron, and Instagram. Mostly Instagram, Tommy Aaron MMA. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Damn right. Voodoo, you got anything?
Oh man, hey, Tommy, I want you to know that it's been my pleasure to have you on, man. You know, I've been trying to secure this interview because I truly believe that your story is an inspiring type story. I mean, 15 years old, man, coming to a new land at 15. 15! Are you serious? 15. And being so focused that you did not waver. You were completely focused on what you needed to do, and you went straight for it. That is an admirable character. And once I found out that story, I just had to share it with more people that don't know. You know what I mean? That's why I had to get you on this show, man. And I'm so happy that you took the time to share your story with us. And I'm sure somewhere, man, there's some little kid that's gonna watch this, and he's gonna be inspired. Even if it's just one person, man. Even if it's just one person, they're gonna be inspired by your story, man. And you're gonna change someone's life. And that's what this is all about, man. So thank you, Tommy Aaron, for coming on our show. We much respect, man. I love you, brother.
Man, I love you too, my man. And I appreciate you guys so much. I just want to say, you know, I never thought that I would inspire people or, you know, any of that. I really didn't. And honestly, I never really thought my story was that, you know, special or anything. It's just how kind of, I don't even feel like, it's weird. Like I had a chance, but I didn't have a chance. Like I kind of just went, you know, I kind of just went, but I did have to make some hard decisions. And I think that's what it is. Sometimes you have to, you know, you have a decision to make, and a lot of people tend to make the decision that's most comfortable. That leads to an easier path. But I knew, man, when I was a little kid, like I don't want an easy life, man. Like I want to see how hard life can be. And I want to prove to myself. I don't care about proving to anybody. I want to prove to me that I'm this fucking dude, man. Like I'm man, like it's here, bro. Like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but man, just all to all those kids out there, just do what makes you happy and make the hard decisions and don't what's the Bruce Lee saying? I don't want to have an easy life. I want to have a difficult life. And endure and persevere and endure it and find happiness through that difficulty. And find out who I am.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
He said, don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult life.
Oh, let's go! Right there. Right there. Let's go. Bicep. Hard. Let's go.
Oh, are we showing nipples? Okay. I thought this was Girls Not Wild and shit.
I'm gonna go do fucking. I'm gonna be right now over my bed just doing fucking.
Hell yeah.
Oh God! In the words of Vince McMahon, "You're vascular, pal." There you go. I'm just saying. Great. But Tommy, thank you so much for joining us here at Voodoo in the Woods. Thank you guys for joining us here at Voodoo in the Woods for our very first show of many of 2021. And again, I mean, I'm literally the only non-UF MMA champion on this deal, so I'm gonna fucking do that, whatever. Because I need to do some shit. Apparently, but I'm gonna start off with.